Hey guys, it's review time again. Um, I know I'm late. I think at this point, I'm just going to stop apologizing for it and just say that it's probably just going to be the standard. Like I said last week, I'm just really busy and my shop just doesn't get all the books in on time. And even if they did, like I said, I'm busy. I wouldn't have time to read it and make a review in a very timely fashion. So they'll be up when they are, and I'm sorry. I wish I could do it like I did over the summer, but I can't. Just the way things are. I enjoy doing this, but it's not my. It's not a priority. It's something I do in my spare time because I enjoy doing it. But anyway, moving on. Gonna I only have 4 books today, so I know I said last week I would only do like two, 2 or 3 a week. I only have 4 books, so I thought I would just do a little on each of them. Hopefully, make a less than 20-minute video overall. So, first book is The Movement, issue 5, beginning of a new arc. Of course, last arc ended off with the movement gaining a lot of ground um, outside of Coral City. Other groups were popping up all over the world of teenage vigilantes fighting for social justice against cop cruelty and police cruelty and abuse of power and such as that. So in this issue, we get the start of a new arc that starts off with a mysterious shadow organization organizing to bring down the movement. And we see we see the news. They're checking the news of all the movement things popping up all over the world. So after an ominous introduction like that, we have Virtue meeting up with the police commissioner of Coral City for a talk over donuts without a mask, but Virtue just really doesn't care, I guess. And the commissioner is like, "You're good kids, I realize what you're doing, but you're going to get yourselves killed." And Virtue is like, "You're a good man too, Charlie Brown, but your cops are they're corrupt. And we're gonna keep on doing what we're doing because we can win because we're powerful and blah blah blah, all that." And the commissioner is all like, "No, these guys are bringing out the big guns to stop you. You're gonna get yourselves killed." And she's like, "Well, fuck that." Meanwhile, back at the secret base of the movement, the 2 cops arrested way back when by the movement have their trial where they plead guilty just to get it over with, and it seems like they've kind of said done their time and trying to make up for whatever they did. Well, not whatever they did, the groping and all that, the sexual assault, and they seem to be making up for that or trying to make up for that now by pleading guilty. But of course, they pull a dick move anyway, and like a real dick move, like one of the dickest moves in dick movedom, where they the bigger cop, and the smaller cop seems serious about this, but the bigger cop just is a huge dick and pushes Vengeance Moth out of her wheelchair. Like, that is just the dickest move ever. Like, really pushing someone out of a wheelchair. Holy shit, Like, come on. Just don't do that. Even if they are arresting you. That's just so fucking rude. But we do get a hint of Vengeance Moth's power, which is pretty cool, I guess. It's still not worth the tickitude, but I mean, she looks pretty powerful, all I gotta say. And the third little arc of this, or the fourth rather, is Mouse stopping the Cornea killer, murderer guy who's been stalking about Coral City, and he's doing that, and he shows off kind of his stuff again, and it ends on not Vengeance Moth, and it ends with Tremor breaking the cops out for some reason. Apparently, she's playing both sides or whatever, and then Mouse running into the guys that the mysterious shadow organization is bringing in to stop the movement, and that's where we end. And it's a lot of stuff. This is thick. Well, not any thicker than a normal book, but it's very dense. Lots of stuff going on. 4 stories. Of course, one of them is just first 2 pages, last page sort of thing, but the others are kind of go back and forth. And but it's still well done. It doesn't feel anywhere as messy as something like the first issue of Legion Lost or like Trinity War did at all. Like even though it's a lot of stories, they're all done in a way where you can follow each one and you're like, who's this? What are they doing? What's this up to? So very well done. And I guess a pretty good setup for the arc because you got all those things going on. All makes sense. You're just kind of wondering where is it going to go? How is it all going to meet up? So I'd pick it up. Next we have Detective Comics 24, the last issue of the Wrath arc. For some reason, mine came in this kind of weird, like Special Comics will come in this like very like plasticky, I guess laminated cover, but usually stuff like the Movement even comes in just a paper cover. But for some reason, this came in a laminated cover. I don't know why. It doesn't really strike me as that special of an issue. Even the ad is just for Scribblenauts. So I don't know why it came in the weird laminated cover, but it did. I guess I'm not complaining. I hope it didn't cost an extra $1 because that actually would have sucked. But I think Detective is always $3.99. Anyway, we get the end of the Wrath arc, and honestly, I'm not sure why they invented a whole new character for this. Because in this, he's basically just Prometheus, and they already have a character. They already have a Prometheus character. His name is Prometheus. He has the exact sort of same shtick where he's Batman with a more technologically advanced suit and a backstory where his parents were killed by cops. And wants vengeance on cops. Like, they already have a character that is basically the same exact character who's been used tons of times and not necessarily in good stuff. But, I mean, he exists. I don't see why you had to invent a whole new guy who's the same guy. Like, why not just bring Prometheus back? I don't think he's shown up in the New 52 at all, so I don't know why. But, overall, except for that, just a little, honestly, it's kind of a nitpick. This was a pretty good ending to the arc. I mean, I enjoyed the arc overall, and I just thought this wasn't a bad way to end it. You have the big fight between Wrath and Batman. That lasts all through the issue, so you have the, starts off in the air. Eventually Batman has to bail in order to save the cops. So we get some Batman Alfred stuff, and then we got round 2 where Batman puts on his armor, and then that's basically the end. We get one more fight in the armor before Gordon shows up with the tank and just blasts Wrath away, and that's the end. And I mean, it's nothing extraordinary, but it's pretty well done. It's a nice, clean ending, wraps everything up pretty much. And it wasn't boring. It was exciting to read, good fight scenes, Batman in the plane, Batman in the armor. All very okay, very good. I enjoyed it. Pretty good ending. And then at the very end, we have a little tease of something possibly with Man-Bat going on in the next arc of the book. Or Man-Bat or Emperor Penguin down here. So But of course, the next book is going to be a tie-in with Zero Year, so we'll see what this has what's set up in issue 26, I guess. But overall, yeah, a pretty clumsy, a pretty good ending to a pretty good arc. Moving on once again to Forever Evil issue 2, and I didn't really like the first issue of Forever Evil. If you saw my review of that, I thought it was just kind of meh. It was still better than Trinity War, but I just really didn't. It didn't immediately grab me. This issue, I feel, was a little bit better. Possibly because Villains Month is over, so it's just this one story now with a couple of tie-ins listed on the back here that I won't be reading all of them, but anyway. This issue I thought was a lot better. You start off with Lex Luthor in basically survivor mode. He's underground, searching for something in order to combat the Injustice League, or the whatever I'm just gonna call them the Injustice League. So you have Luthor doing his thing. You got the Teen Titans jumping in to be the heroes because the Justice League is gone. But the majority of this is just what the Injustice League is up to. We got a lot of time with them, just kind of talking, and there's a lot of animosity through the team. Owlman has a completely different plan from Ultraman. I forget the Flash copy guy. What did they mention? Johnny Speed. Yeah, Johnny just wants to be an agent of chaos and run amok and cause havoc. Owlman thinks they should set up more infrastructure to keep this world in line. Ultraman's like, we're fucking powerful. We don't need to spend time doing all this infrastructure shit. Meanwhile, Professor Death, the Firestorm, Deathstorm, I guess. Meanwhile, Deathstorm is just hanging out with Power Ring, and I guess they're buddy-buddy. So that's that. There's also a mysterious guy. We don't know who he is, but he's being kept hidden from the reader. Ultraman wants to keep him alive. Owlman doesn't think that's necessary, so Owlman's like, you keep your guy alive, we keep Dick Grayson alive. And Ultraman's like, okay, sure, whatever. And then we have Owlman and Superwoman. Apparently Superwoman is pregnant with Owlman's baby. Ultraman doesn't know yet, but once he finds out, he's going to be pissed. Back to Luthor, where he unveils Bizarro, which is pretty neat. They set him up in the Villains Month. I thought the Bizarro issue was pretty good, and that's actually leading up to something in Forever Evil, which is pretty nice to get that. Just to, it means something. So that's pretty cool. Some more scenes of Johnny Speed wreaking havoc, going against the Teen Titans, and he just whips the Teen Titans. It is a short fight, literally like 2 pages. That's it. It's like a 2-page fight, and Johnny Speed or Johnny Quick, whatever, just fucking warps them to a different time. So they're gone. They're out of the picture. And this issue ends. Well, right before the end, we have Luthor suiting up with Bizarro, and it's fun. They actually have a panel to explain the reverse S. You're putting that on inside out. And he's like, never mind, we don't have time. But the issue ends with, at Star Labs, with Batman banging on the door and saying the Justice League is dead, except for him, Catwoman, and what's left of Vic Stone. But other than that, they're all dead. Well, they didn't make it, whatever that means. However, I have a theory that this isn't actually Batman. And I'm just gonna say before I go all this, I do like the comic. This was a way better issue than issue 1. Like the movement, it has a lot of things going on, but it very neatly segments them into their own very digestible bits of the comic. So you have the Luthor bit, the Injustice League bit, the Teen Titans bit, which ties in very little with the Injustice League and Johnny Quick or Johnny Speed or whatever. And then we have the very end with Star Labs and Batman. Now, the reason I don't think this guy's Batman is because this is the page, the penultimate page of the book, where you're in Star Labs and you see banging on this heavy metal door. Boom, the heavy metal door crashes down, and then we see the person who knocked this door down all by himself is Batman, who is incredibly strong, but is only human and probably cannot break down a huge metal door. Secondly, the very last issue, we have a close-up on the face. And, I mean, it's always been, I guess, a thing in comics where Bruce and Clark look very similar. However, I think it was established in, I think it was the Man of Steel, not the Man of Steel movie, the Man of Steel comic, the reboot after Crisis on Infinite Earths back in the 80s. Or it might have been a different comic. But anyway, it's established there that Clark Kent has incredibly blue eyes. And that's why he wears the glasses. The glasses kind of refract light away, so they make his eyes seem less blue. And that they're focusing on the eyes here, and that you have the one in the cowl, and then the very blue eye over there. And the fact that he broke down the whole door makes me think that this is actually Clark in the Batman costume. And they're hatching a plan where they want to keep the Justice League very low profile. So that's that. That's that issue. Again, like I said, I liked it. It's picking up a bit, but I'm still wary of crossover events now, so I'd hold off unless you're really into it and all that blah, blah, blah. And the last issue we're looking at today is issue 2 of Batman Black and White, which, to be completely honest, was a bit of a letdown, kind of the opposite of Forever Evil, where I really enjoyed the first issue of this. This one is still the same setup, still 5 vignettes, but I don't think that either of them are as strong as the ones we see in the first one. The strongest ones are probably the Dan DiDio one, oddly enough. I've never really been a big fan of DiDio's work, so it's just strange that he has one of the better issues, one of the better stories this issue, which is a Man-Bat story. Batman is stalking a neighborhood, finds Man-Bat, fights Man-Bat a little before finding out that Man-Bat is just protecting his children from someone who has been abusing them. So he lets Man-Bat go and go after the child abuser. And it's a short story, but it's a goodie. Not really emotionally impactful as it probably wants to be, but it does something. So I enjoyed it. And the art is really good. I really enjoyed the art in this issue too. Just very detailed. Almost very, I guess, Alex Ross-y quality to it. But black and white, of course, more pencil-y, I guess. But just, I really enjoyed the art for this story. The next one is I don't want to spoil it, but it's a Joker and Batman story. I don't really like the art on this one, although I do think the look for the Joker in this one is really scary. Like he has just a really scary thing going on with him in this story here, where he has a painted-on mouth over his just normal mouth. And just like a kind of derelict, hobo, kind of ruined, dirty, filthy thing going on. That I think it doesn't work for the Joker I really enjoy, but it works for a version of the Joker character. So it's visually striking. I at the very least, so I like it. Batman, not so much, because his nose looks really dumb. But he looks good in shots further away. Like this one, I think this panel looks really good, because it's further away Batman, and definitely has that gravitas and that hugeness to him that he should, I think, in that style. The third story is, well, I don't want to spoil too much of this either, but it starts off with Batman on the boat that crosses River Styx to go into the afterlife, and he's being shown all of these terrible little parts of his life where he could have stopped things, like Jason Todd's death, of course. That's one thing they always go back to. It's a nice little story, with a bit of a twist at the end, but I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite art, but it's not my least favorite art in the book either. And just a nice little story, nice little vignette, 5-6 pages. I really enjoyed it, but not as, like, for this issue. Like I said, overall this one is less than the first in terms of quality, in my opinion. Then we get the Jeff Lemire story, which might be the weakest of the bunch, just because the art is hard to follow and there's just not much going on. It's Batman taking a moment to describe a time where him and his father played in the snow, and how part of that made him Batman, of course. It's just, this is probably the worst art in the issue, just because it's really hard to follow, sequentially, and it's just, I wasn't a huge fan of this one. So there's that. The last story, I wouldn't say is particularly good, but has a neat gimmick, where it's played out, it's illustrated in the version of like a Fleischer Bros cartoon, like a Fleischer Bros silent cartoon. And the story itself isn't all that good, but I do enjoy the art. It's kind of, who is the artist? But it's, that old style. The artist, they don't, oh, well, art direction inspired by Max Fleischer. Photo, they don't actually credit artist. Wait, they would in the back. The artist is Dave Bullock. Okay, whatever. I like his stuff. I like this story's art. Probably the second best, my second best most favorite art in the issue. Like I said, the story's not all that good, all that fleshed out. It's very much like a silent cartoon, very bare bones, but I think it works, and it's novel. It's enjoyable. So yeah. But my favorite book this week is probably Forever Evil, which I was not expecting. But yeah, how about that? And that's all 4 comics this week. However, before I end this video, I would like to say things. Now about that. What do I want to say? That's right. Okay. So, starting Thursday and going through Sunday is New York Comic Con. It'll be, I've filmed Comic Cons in the past. They're uploaded onto this channel if you want to see the Comic Con footage I took from previous years. And I'll be going again from Thursday, all weekend, Thursday to Sunday. I'll probably be filming less. I'll try to get panels in, but I'll probably, I already read my panel schedule. I'll try to film panels as I can. But a lot more things I'm going to are going to be in the big screening rooms, and usually they don't allow for filming there. I'll see what I can do. But no promises. And of course I'll cover all the other stuff I do, the games booths, just anything I find interesting on the show floor. But yeah, I'll be at Comic-Con, but because that's all weekend, I don't know if I'll have time to pick up comics until Monday, so I'm thinking of just doing the next 2 weeks in one video again, just because Comic-Con is a huge chunk where I usually have time to pick up and read comics. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you watch my Comic-Con coverage if you're interested in that. And either sometime next week, well, probably next week, but maybe I'll be able to squeeze it in this week. We'll have a review of the comics that are coming out tomorrow, which there are more than 4 of, so I'll just be doing 2 in-depth and then a few just yes, nos, buys, skips, blah, 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 sorts of thing. So, like I said, hope you enjoy. Any questions, comments, anything at all, feel free to comment or message me. Like the video if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you again later. Bye.